Hi guys, welcome back to PBTV. We have a very interesting video to have a little chat about today, and that is comparing some gas blowback platforms. In particular, we have just had a drop in Umarex. Specifically, we've got the MP7 gas blowback, the 1:1 scale GBB. We have the G3, the HK G3, which is one of my favorite gas blowback weapons of all time, and then we have the absolute beast that is the 417. So the main sort of idea of this is to look at each platform in its different sort of size, capabilities, and sort of wants and needs that each one of these will have a different role to play on the battlefield, and which one might suit your needs the best. They've all got some similar parts internally, like they've all got tight balls and things like that, but all the mags are different, all the sort of barrel length threads, all that kind of stuff is very, very different and very specific to a sort of use case scenario. For example, we have the MP7. So in the real world, a very, very rare platform. In Airsoft, it has been around for a millennia. It seems extremely popular, especially in its gas blowback format. Various different things with the MP7 compared to pretty much any other platform, whether or not it's AEG or gas. Starting at the front, obviously we've got the clip-on QD suppressor on this, but underneath that it does have a 12mm thread instead of a 14. So you are slightly limited onto the devices that you can put onto the front of this. With that being said, the actual official sort of MP7 suppressor is genuinely QD. You do have a little sort of knurled section here. You're not pressing that bit, you're pressing the screw behind it, and you simply press upwards and it slides off. So you can have this in a pouch. You can fit XT301s. You can turn these into a tracer device. Inherently out the box, it is just a plastic tube with a bit of foam in it. So it is sort of slightly functional in sound and things like that, but you can simply push, attach, and you are good to go. It doesn't lock in place rotationally. It does lock backwards and forwards, but it can rotate that way. Totally fine, but there is capability of turning this into a tracer unit as well. So pressing that, getting it out of the way means that you are in the full collapsed setup. So this thing, I think it's about 42 centimeters in length. So this is one of the tiniest platforms that you can get if you're really wanting to go into that CQB PCC, sort of very collapsible, very up close and personal CQB platform that has the capability to run outdoors. Absolutely. So it is a polymer platform. Inherently, it is very light. Obviously, as it is, it's about 1.3 kilos. Obviously, no optic, no suppressor, just as it is. But most of that weight, a lot of that weight, is in the gas blowback magazines. If you've played with gas blowback before, you know the magazines are where a chunk of the weight comes from. And with the MP7, it's at almost dead center in this. It balances really, really nice. At the front, we do have that folding grip. So there is a switch at the bottom that you can see just snap away. Pulling it down and away, it's this switch at the bottom that you press. So literally pulling down and it folds away nice and neat. So you can have this as a sort of almost like a hand stop if you want to put your thumb on it, or drop it down, and I'd probably run it more like a sort of pullback grip or something. Weirdly, sticking to the front of the platform, there is a little dial here. So rather than other gas weapons where you've got to open the breech and get to your hop with a key or a tool or rip a slide off or do something different, this is actually a hop adjuster. So simply rotating that or rotating it the other way adds or removes hop. So it's very easy to do on the fly as and when you need it, just to make slight adjustments. And with it being, again, similar to a rotary and sort of having that rotational movement and it not being a gear, it is very, very stable. Obviously, we've got rails and we've got the capability of add loads of different accessories to these. People love to trick these out almost to the point there's no Riz space left. So we've gone quite simple with just a red dot on the top. But we do have Riz, and obviously underneath we do have the grip already fitted. So a lot of people, again, with an optic and a magnifier or a PEC box or torches or things like that, you do have a lot of real estate on this compared to some sort of other SMG platforms. So you can get sort of side mounted torches. You've already got the grip, PEC box lasers, and there's plenty of space for a dual optic setup. Again, it does come with a dual function iron sights. So there's iron sights up, and when you drop them down, they're in a pistol style system as well. With controls, it is an ambidextrous system compared to some of the other ones. So up in safe, semi, and full auto all the way down. And then the actual switch here that you can just see moving up and down there, that's actually the bolt release or bolt hold open. And then at the bottom of the trigger here, we pull that, and that is the mag release. So again, all ambidextrous, can be reached from both sides, left or right-handed. Very, very modernized. There is another control just here. So laying this down, you might be able to just see that switch there. Pulling that just knocks out the stock. So we have the close position, we've got the mid position, and then 2 more after that. So it is a 3-position stock in total, with a center one just for sort of slightly different arm lengths. But again, you can run this in various different setups, and we do have the charging handle at the back. Rack that, get that first BB in there, and you can run and gun with this thing to your heart's content. So looking at this thing being a very, very fast trigger response CQB weapon, again, gas. It's literally as soon as that hammer hits, your BB is flying out. It's preset in the breech, ready to go. You're not having to wait for gears to come back and launch this thing. The trigger response on gas is one of the things that make them super popular, and the sort of experience and realism of that recoil felt system, bolt stop, all them features that take electronics to do, it's just done mechanically in this system. So again, very good at CQB. You've got full ambidextrous system, and you do have a lot of real estate to fit any accessories you want on this, and it's obviously got some sort of proprietary systems on the front. So looking at the next system in here is my personal favorite. So we'll stick to the G3 on this one. So this is going back to something a bit more raw and basic. We've added some tech to it, but if you're wanting to keep it simple and just have a lot of fun with a gas blowback platform, the MP7's got all the tricks in the book. It's got a rapidly accessible hop, it's got ambidextrous selector, mag release, all the tricks that you need to sort of push the sort of peak levels of what you want to do in a CQB. This thing is loud, obnoxious, fun, heavy, and just absolutely raw, unadulterated fun when it comes to pulling a trigger and firing BBs down a barrel. So as I was saying, we'll look at the front and work our way back. It's a very strange system on the front of this. There is a thread underneath here, a 40mm thread. As you can see, there are some sort of knurls and threads. So the real one, it's obviously pinned and welded. So this one has got a 40mm thread underneath here, but it is very, very narrow in length. So you're probably going to want, if you are going to put something on the front of this, you're going to want something that's slightly over barrel, sort of recessed back, and it needs to be quite a wide aperture, and there's not many threads on there, so it does not want to be too heavy. And again, if you are going to stick a device on this thing, look at the length of it. You're going to reach out and probably touch them with your platform rather than the actual BBs coming out of it. So again, coming back to this back to basics system, we've got iron sights at the front, a very, very narrow polymer front grip. This thing is incredibly comfortable to maneuver and sort of swing around the battlefield. And on the left-hand side, we do have the charging handle. It's non-reciprocating, so once you've racked this, this does stay forward. It's simply a bar that's pushing the bolt system back. And again, you do have the charging handle. So pulling that back, you can lock it up and you are good to go. But this does not move backwards and forwards as it is firing. And again, you can do that HK slap if you want, but be aware, obviously, airsoft ones aren't as potently put together as real ones. A lot of the materials are the same, but 9 times out of 10, airsofters are using their platforms a lot more than real steel, so it will wear and tear more if you start slapping the charging handle down and doing a bit more sort of oomph to it. Looking back, we do have this incredibly well put together steel receiver, all stamped, all made very, very similar, if not identically, to the real thing. And one of the things to look at is this big chunky mag. Obviously, the MP7 having that sort of 40 round capability, pushing the limits of being sort of the top end or pushing the sort of meta of the gas blowback game and being really compact, loads of rounds, 40 rounds in it. It's got the type bar, it's got all the bells and whistles, 25 rounds, loads of gas in it, big heavy bolt, chucking sort of that weight into your shoulder. Every time you pull the trigger on this thing, you're just going to grin. It is incredibly fun, and obviously just having to put a bit more personal effort into that thought process of every single round having to count. Control-wise, it is left-handed dominant. We do have, obviously, this plastic is here to keep the receiver protected whilst it's in transit, but we've got safe, fire, and full auto, and there is a detent that these clock into when the plastic is not on there. So we do have all three functions on this thing, and then the mag release is just down here. Pushing that forward drops the 25 round magazine out, and then you can swap out when you get ready to go. Again, it is similar to other systems with like a dead man's click style system, so there's no bolt lock like the MP7. You're just going to get that dead man's sort of dead trigger, rack it back, put it into the open lock position, mag out, mag in. So again, experiencing that reload and enjoyment of the sort of raw behavior of the G3. We've got this OD green furniture on it that's really dark, and I do really like the color of it, with the polymer stock, grip and fore end. And as you can see, we have added the optic just to show you this is possible. What you need is this claw mount at the bottom, and it literally pulls up on a specific setup. So these are designed to go on the G3 system, MP5, SD6, sort like that. It's a very similar setup. So on there, the claw mount goes on, and then we've thrown a Vortex prism on there, because looking at it, it's got the similar, almost weirdly retro vibes for that high-tech look. But looking at the OG optics, we've got the sort of turret sight at the back, and the pin iron sights, unadjustable pin iron sight at the front. So again, just absolutely back to basics with this thing. Sling point on the stock as well, and a sling loop at the front. You're looking at this thing is getting, again, adding to that weight category that gas blowbacks have. It's about 4 kilos. So adding the mags that you're going to need, it is incredibly fun. You must take my word on it. It is a 4 kilo lump that you're going to have to run around with compared to the 1.3 of the MP7. But the sort of the smile that is going to be on your face from shooting this thing on a game day, just it'll feel featherweight. It's absolutely fine, and I absolutely love it. Again, tight bore barrel in it. It's a 455mm barrel. Again, gas dependent, same with the MP7. It's about 318 when we tested that. This thing's about 300. And again, it's all down to how much gas these mags are pumping out and being efficient with round to round. So you could have 25 rounds in this and it will fire every single one of them because you've got loads of gas in there. When it starts getting cold with 45 rounds in the smaller mag on the MP7, it might struggle towards the end slightly. So putting the G3 down, I will come back to you in a moment because it's definitely my favourite. We'll come on to something that sort of bridges the gap in between both. So this is the iconic 417D. So again, as you can see, we've put an optic, we've put a suppressor on it, we've sort of tricked it out. So this sort of, it's kind of the both worlds of tech and just smiles when you're shooting. So this gives you the option that if you're wanting big chunky optics, a very large Sandman on the front of it, but look at all this real estate that you've got. With the G3, raw, basic, just shooting BBs and just having a lot of fun with it. If you're wanting to go a little step further, you've got all the Riz on this. You can add all the optics you want, bipods, everything like that, but still have that absolute monster of a recoil that these systems have. So again, we've got the 40mm thread on the front, like we've said, the 6.03, all there is. This thing is full metal in construction, a little bit lighter than the G3, weirdly, but again, it's probably got more aluminium parts on it than stamped steel. It's about 3.5 kilos without the suppressor and the optics, and the magazine is much lighter as well. Speaking of the magazine, it is 5 rounds lighter as well. So this is actually the lowest capacity platform that we looked at. So this is a 20-round magazine. Polymer exterior, and then it's just going to keep a little bit of that thermal efficiency compared to the G3. And we do have safe, semi, and full. With gas systems, it's quite easy to set them to semi only, just removing the auto sear inside. It is something that can be done by a tech or by a workshop and make it very, very simple. So looking at this, how we've set it up, we are imagining this going into that DMR style. So we've got the CQB, the G3 running around in that sort of AR style, just having a lot of fun, and then this being a bit more specific into that dedicated marksman role. Out the box, they are 303 FPS. Again, that's all gas dependent and things like that, so you could extend your barrel, change your gas, and sort of pump this thing up to that sort of 350 and beyond system that you want for DMRs. But the one thing to look at with this is just how big, bulky, and monstrous it is. Even the stock tube, people that have played gas blowback weapons and platforms before know, or even AEGs, the stock tube on an M4 is about half the size of this. That's because the actual bolt in here is 1-to-1 with the 417. It's an absolute monster, and every time you fire this thing, it is a beautiful noise to behold, and it is a lot of fun to shoot. So we've looked at the sort of 3 different ways that you can run these. We've got the MP7 that is that chasing the pinnacle of every single feature, CQB, nice and tight, can work indoors, outdoors. We've got the G3 that is just raw back to basics, and then we've got the 417, which is, again, teetering between both with all the capabilities of the accessories and everything, but has that fun, engaging clonk of what a gas weapon is originally for, which is just immersion and a lot of fun. So the best thing we can do with these is probably take them upstairs and show them actually shooting. We'll do the MP7, the G3, and the 417, and then in the comments below, you tell us which one you think is best, which one you'd run and how you'd set it up, whether or not it's the MP7, G3, or the 417, and we'll have a little conversation in the comments. So join me on the range in just a second. I'm taking this on the G3. Let's go. Hi guys, we're up at the range. We've got all 3 platforms set up with some V8 gas and some BBs ready to go. So looking at the MP7 first, as we've said, we've got all the controls and all the sort of amenities you need for this thing to rock in every situation. We can drop the suppressor on as and when we need it. And as you can see, we are held open, and this being the bolt forward, just dropping that, pull the stock out, shows that this thing collapses down and is ready to go at a moment's notice. So really small case or bag or anything can be used with this thing, but just dropping a few rounds down, you can see that this thing, just the response on it and why people love this thing CQB. But if you do go outdoors and you want to dump this off, you can do, and we're good to go. Again, we have a bolt lock system, so once the mags are empty, drop it out, new one in, and you can use that forward assist again. So coming on to my favourite, the G3. Again, we are in the bolt hold open situation with the charging handle back in its locked position. This is where you want it to be when you're changing mag on that dead man's click. Lock it in, new magazine in, and instead of doing the HK slap, simply pull and release. It'll put a round in the chamber, on fire, and you can see what makes you smile. Again, we can full auto this thing, and it will absolutely chug like the rest of them, but there is no bolt hold open on this thing. Charge it back, lock it in place, change the magazine, and then put it forward again. Just a different sort of workflow that you have to deal with when you're looking with the sort of raw, basic, more simpler weapons. Now, coming on to the 417. Again, we are in a hold open position. We've charged it back and we're ready to go. As you can see, it is ambidextrous, so we do have the ping pong, dropping that humongous bolt forward and going into some semi-auto shots. You know, every single time this fires, and in its current setup, it does absolutely chug away, but I can see a lot of people wanting to take that full auto sear out and put this into a semi-auto system. So you can see the variations between the 416, the G3 and the MP7. So let us know down below which is your favourite, which makes you smile the most, and how you would set them up. Personally, I'm sat there with the G3. I'm not normally a fan of these prism optics, but this looks incredible. But then you've got the tech and the chase of the MP7 that just has every feature you want, and then the 417 just absolutely chugs away and is a lot of fun. So if that's everything for today, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later, and let us know which one you have in a bit. Bye.